Hello.
Hard in.
We're here.
Hard in.
Excellent.
Kapow.
All right. Welcome to the Retro Cavalcade. I'm here. I'm Allison Troy. I'm here with Derek J. Hoover of the Yesterday's podcast, Andrew of Gady's Toys. And we're here to not talk about toys per se, but we're going to talk about movies we want to see. And really quick, hello. Yeah, Marvel. Wait, Marsha. Hello, Rowdy Riles. Lovely to see you. And Rhea Black is with us. Hello. So yeah. We try to do the Cavalcade once a month. Technically, twice a month this month because of the She-Ra stuff. But whatever.
Oh yeah.
This is more of our normal jam.
Is that this month? Oh my God.
Yeah, right? That was like... No, I think actually it was the very end of last month, perhaps. Yeah, it was like... It was the same... It was like the 28th
It was
March.
the beginning of my vacation, I think.
Yeah, it was the 28th.
I think that's how I kicked off vacation.
This month is just blended together. So it was like 4 weeks ago. So that's about the right time for a cavalcade. So anyway, that's the scheduling part of the things. And as Rowdy Riles says, smack that like biatches. And hello, Kenzo. Kenzo is here to represent the fans of the smaller statue action figures. All right. So tonight we're not necessarily going to be talking about toys, but it is toy adjacent because we're going to be discussing the movies that we want to see this year, this summer. And most of those are like toy adjacent or have toys for them. So there we go.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and let's see. No, let's not do hauls tonight because I'm not prepared. And it doesn't look like you're prepared either, Mr. Hoover. So
I do have something handy in the next room I can grab that I got last night.
Andrew, do you have something handy that's appropriate to put on the screen?
The other toy is the black box that we don't talk about. I got a Tula figure that I never talk about. I don't know if you've heard, but I'm very excited about Pirates of Dark Water.
I have
made a video about her last week, I want to say. Had this done by Funky McClunky. It's on his shop now. I'm here just as a spokesperson for him. Love it. And then the other thing that I've become like disturbingly obsessed with is Wendy's Kids Meals DC figures. I've been on a rampage. I've eaten like 500 chicken nuggets you wouldn't believe. It's all I want all the time. So
that's a tasty week is what that is.
It is, but I'm dying inside from malnutrition.
Well, drink some beer. That'll help you.
That'll have some coffee and beer. That's fine.
The beer is like medicine. It's sterile, right?
It's full of yeast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I'm perfectly preserved inside.
All right. And also really quick, hellos, CJ.
CJ. So I got this last night. Co-host Jason found it for me. He made me cover my eyes and everything. He's like, get ready. He's like, prepare your balls. It's going to blow your mind. And it actually made me weep slightly when I saw it.
Aww,
he found me.
Ooh.
And as Chris Plastic pointed out in the Discord, I am now part of the community that's hunting down parts for a Toy Biz 89 Batcave. So I was very thrilled to have gotten that. What's that?
There's not that many, are there? Like, it was pretty self-contained, like railings and what have you.
Yeah, as far as like, I think it's missing the two chairs, the railings and steps, the little pulley, the entire backside of it, like the cardboard and all that stuff, that's missing. So I think a little passion project will be finding all the missing pieces for it, or seeing if people can 3D print them for me or something like that, and kind of restore it. So he found it for $2 at a Habitat for Humanity, and he's like, no, that's yours. I bought that for you. And I kind of started weeping a little bit openly because I'm a bit butter soft, as many know. So yeah, I was very appreciative, very, very appreciative.
That's like old, like 80s flea market prices where, like, I remember going to a flea market and there's like a near complete AT-AT for like $3. And I was like, yeah, I'm taking that home.
Yeah. He found, I want to say it was a few months back. He found like an Ewok village or some sort of playset. And then went back like a couple days later and found some of the missing figures, including some weird horse like figure that went with it. And like that figure alone went for like $15. He picked it up for $1. Yeah. He sold the playset for like $80.
The preschool Ewok hut thing that was the kind of reusing the molds from the 70s treetop thing.
It was really nice.
That's the one. Yeah, he found all together. I think it all in like $5, and he made like $150 off of everything he found.
Yeah,
he's a beast when it comes to that stuff. So very happy.
So I also have secondhand or not store-bought, well, traditional store-bought hauls. So first I found for $15 at a local flea market and naked vintage synergy.
Naked.
He's got the power.
And then my good friend Alpha Magnus, the owner of Toby Toys, sent me a bunch of his little pumpkins. His little. So,
the McDonald's pumpkins?
Oh, that's so cool.
He makes these, 3D prints them and makes them up. They're very cute. He sent me a whole set. But I've only been playing with a couple of them, but they are pretty rad. And as you can see, they scale pretty well with 11.5-inch fashion dolls. I tried them out with my strawberry shortcake vintage dolls and some Motu, and they look pretty good with the 5.5. So I would say, they're going to be a little oversized, for her boobie is just looking right at y'all. Sorry.
I know, like, we're demonetized now.
Right? But they're really cool, and like they're 3D printed, but I only realized it because he's mentioned. But the lids, I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to break it. But like the lids come off, and like there's actually like a layer of like black in there so that it's tricolored. Like it's pretty cool. Like people are doing some amazing stuff with the 3D printing. So
rad. I just delivered a 3D printer the other day, so I'm starting to get very interested in them.
As am I. Now that I have the studio is next month when we do the Cavalcade, I will probably be in the studio/collection room. We got the last of I think the last glass case is about halfway put together. But yeah, so
stressful project.
I think I'm going to be getting a 3D printer in the next year and start. Why not make our own toys? Really, they're ridiculously cute, and unfortunately, I didn't prepare enough to have his links here. But I'm going to do some actual pictures with my various figures and post them on Instagram with the link to him because I'm 100% about right now supporting small businesses, local businesses, our friends who make amazing things. Like I'm tired of big corporations who want to fuck us all over.
Yep.
That's my F-bomb for the night.
So
just
early.
kidding. There will probably be many because, it's been that kind of week, guys. Hello, Dave's Dimension. Welcome. All right. I will check those out.
Also, there's there's so many great gem clothing options you can get. Like there's a lot of people like Allison Allison Taylor, and I
Yeah.
think it's called Kazjar. Like they do it on Etsy, where
Yeah.
like it's the full
Well-
recreation. So you don't have to go like find some like musky old synergy
Well, no,
dress. You
here's
can
the
get a new
deal, though.
one.
I've got a couple synergies saved. Her body is a little janky, and her hair just needs to be cleaned up. I've got a
Just
couple
boil it.
synergies saved on various watch lists and various places where her outfit is complete. She's got all the accessories, but somebody cut her hair or like her face is melted. So I'll
Yeah.
actually be able to put together a mint finger quote mint, a nice display vintage synergy. Because even though I think the Loyal Subjects is going to give us probably the holograms and probably all of the misfits if they last long enough, I doubt they'll get to synergy. And if they do, they'll probably go cartoon accurate rather than toy accurate. So anyway.
Yeah. I know people are talking about like, oh, I hope Loyal Subjects does Regine and Astral. And I'm like, okay, let's just get through the holograms first. Like,
let's get Gem and the holograms.
Whoa. Let's.
Hey, I'm walking here.
So, anyhow, so yes, that's anyway. So he sent me a few other cool things, but I'll get to all of those when I can do a proper between my birthday and trying to make content and work and everything. It's been really hard to just step aside and do fun stuff. I don't know that they are my understanding. And to be fair, when I reached out to people at Hasbro, they kind of talk around things because, contracts are at times fluid. But my understanding when I reached out to Hasbro on some other stuff, and I just threw in, oh, by the way, my understanding is the Loyal Subjects have licensed Gem and the holograms as a property at 11-inch doll scale. So my guess is that 7-inch action figure scale and 3 3/4 is probably still licensed through Super 7 because they did a few reaction figures. And their typical MO is that they will do reaction. If they sell well enough, they'll do more reaction, and then they'll do an ultimate figure. And then I would guess Hasbro has probably reserved 6-inch scale Gem and the holograms for themselves. And their recent, it was not San Diego Comic-Con. Was it New York Comic-Con that they recently, or was it Toy Fair? Whatever the Zartan Cold Slither set that they did had Gem and the holograms on it, which they often will tease. So my guess is Hasbro is retaining sort of 6-inch figure scale, that scale of figure for themselves. So
I'd be down. That's all I want. I don't want these dolls. Like, as much as they're nice, like I'm not a doll guy. Like, yeah, like, or something I can work with the rest of my collection. But the doll's great. I'm actually like really impressed with how articulated it is. But I'm like, that hair, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm not that gay. I don't know what to do with this.
Look, I'm gay, but I mean, come on. I'm still a man.
Like, where's her sword? Like,
sure, Jan. Sure, Jan.
Sure. Can't even do my own hair. Like, what?
That's why you cut it short.
I'm one of the guys. I just want a sword or a gun for my toy. I like guns. What's the big deal?
Have a whole channel. Just have a channel about chick action figures. What?
No, right.
Super mask. What? I'm practically an incel.
I know, right? He likes to grow action figures, but he doesn't want them in his movies.
I can't talk to them.
Anyway, on that
they
note,
don't talk back. On that note, the movies of the summer.
On that note,
yes,
right, let's do it. All right, we're adding the slides. I did make slides. Why did I make slides? Because that's what I do, y'all. You know that. And really quick, Bedazzle, welcome. I again hope I am saying that right. If not, apologies. Hello Cute called exactly. I would like them to get to the stingers before we get any of those stupid kids from the gym and the holograms cartoon. The
Yeah, those
stupid
stupid orphans.
orphans.
F
You
them
called.
kids.
Hello,
You should watch
Jake.
my channel on Saturday. The Stingers are coming, so I've got a whole episode lined
I
up.
didn't even remember them until I rewatched Gem and the Holograms like 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
They're bad people. Like bad. Like the Misfits are like angels compared to them. Like,
The Misfits are like the mean girls at your high school, and the Stingers are like,
con artists. Like
yeah, they're like, it's like Ozzy Osbourne and the Monsters of
Mhm.
Metal have come to your school. Anyway, on that note, all right, so let's talk movies.
Yeah.
So I put this one first because this one like has been talked about and talked about and talked about so much.
Yes.
But I'm actually looking, and I say this with 2 caveats. I don't like dogs in movies. And I say that because like, like Alien, the first one I love, but every time the cat is on screen, like I care more about that cat than any of the humans. And even though he's a super dog, I'm going to be too worried about the dog.
You have concerns.
I think it'll be fine
Yeah, I
in this
just
movie, but
feel
the
like they're
Supergirl
gonna do
movie. If they stick to the Supergirl comic in the next movie, the dog's
Yeah.
in trouble. So watch out for Crypto.
Or if hopefully we don't get the Comet the Super Horse of the 90s. So
If only.
Oh,
but I am looking forward to this. I'm hopeful that this is a return to form. I know for my co-hosts Derek and Andrew, this isn't a surprise, but I'm not a fan of the Schneiderverse Superman. He's too dark, he's too depressing, he's too gritty.
Right.
Superman can be bright and cheerful and hopeful in the face of things. And tone-wise, the trailers for this have me feeling like we're gonna get the Superman that we deserve.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's like definitely much more leading into like the Silver Age, where you've got like Superdog and a community of superheroes around already existing. Like he's not the first one on the scene, and just goofy kaiju and like really good cast. And but the problem being is that like I really hope this is good. I'm gonna walk in with like a very open mind, but the expectation and all the weight put on this is too much for it to bear. So everyone's going in with like all this sort of like, this has to kickstart the DC universe. And you're like, just be a good movie. Or actually also like, just keep an open mind and just walk in and not being like, they got this thing wrong. Like just chill out.
Right.
Just chill out.
Yeah.
Just go there to enjoy a movie.
I'll have a little bit more to sort of talk about that once we get to some of the Marvel picks. But I am hopeful for this. And again, I'm not a huge I'm much bigger fan of Supergirl. Like when my grandmother took me to see the Christopher Reeve Superman movie as a kid, I was like, well, where's Supergirl? Like, who's this man dressed up like Supergirl? Because those are the comics I read as a little one. She was in the Superman family, so he showed up, but he was always like the secondary character in Supergirl stories. So I was disappointed as a child that he was the star of that movie. So that's my level. Supergirl is the star. Superman is the supporting cast. So, this is the one thing I hate, the look of the hair for Nathan Fillion. Like, I'm just gonna say, like,
I love it. It's
that's
so comic accurate.
It's comic accurate,
it.
but it doesn't look good on him. Like, it makes
no,
him
but Guy's a douchebag. Like, Guy's a terrible person you should hate, and so the haircut just helps. Like,
the haircut. It's not technically the haircut. It's that Nathan Fillion looks so terrible in it that it feels like. And this is sort of my one little bit of doubt that I keep trying to knock out. But the haircut is comic book accurate, but it looks really bad. So my fear has a little bit in the back of my head is that they're going to try to be so accurate to certain parts of the comics that we're gonna get a bad looking
Fan
Guy
service.
Gardner because we have to do the haircut or it's not really Guy Gardner. When you could have just cast somebody who was not gonna look bad in that haircut. I mean, there is that too.
See, I think my take was that it's deliberately bad because in the comics it's, and I hate dropping this name because he kind of went psychotic, but it wasn't. I don't feel like it was until Ethan Van Sciver when he got more of like very short cropped, damn near Jarhead
they
hair.
updated it, but
That looked better. But in the days of the JLA International, the literal Lloyd
Bowl
Christmas, it was awful.
My
It was
bad
awful
then.
haircut.
I
Yeah.
feel
And I
like
think it's
Nathan
like that's just the
Fillion
point.
looks bad in that haircut, and like it's.
I don't
gonna
think
be
anyone could
distracting.
look good in that. I mean, he's
No.
a handsome man, but I mean, no one could. I couldn't. I've had a bowl cut once upon a time. It was not good. So
True, but we will see.
yeah, indeed.
Oh, there's Suicide Squad talk. I forgot he was in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, very
Problem
briefly.
too, it's like, yeah, like I mean,
a take on
Sean-
Arm Fall Off Boy.
Oh, from the
Gunn
Legion.
keeps on
That's
casting.
right. Okay.
Gunn kind of casts the same people in all his shows. So I mean, you're going to see a lot of like repeat casting.
Yeah,
A lot, I think. So Nathan Fillion for one, his brother Sean, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah, his wife will be somewhere.
He's got a wife? No.
Who knew?
Who knew? So anyway, we're hopeful. Most of us are hopeful for this movie. Nathan Fillion's haircut looks like shit.
I'm excited for it.
I'm just again like
I'm excited. Yeah,
I've watched Nathan Fillion since like 1993 when he joined One Life to Live as like Joey Buchanan #4. And I'm used to him looking handsome. So it's like it's disconcerting to see him look so bad because of a haircut. So oh nice.
No kidding.
Excellent. Good to know. All right, so next, this is a side swipe, but I am a big fan of horror movies. So I'm excited that we're getting Fear Street, the Prom Queen. It is Netflix, but whatever. Prom Queen Fear Street is extra exciting because this is the last Fear Street book I read when I was like the year I graduated high school. This was the one that came out. So I read this when I was getting ready for my prom, and then was low-key disappointed that nobody tried to, like I was hoping my senior prom would be like I would get to be Jamie Lee Curtis in prom night. And it didn't happen.
I was hoping for Carrie. I wanted my telekinesis to kick in on prom.
Yeah,
nights
that
and
would.
murder
I
everyone,
would. Yeah,
no.
no. I mean, no, that would be cool. But at the same time, there's a reason I don't have those powers, and we're all still here because I don't have those powers. I would not be trustworthy. I don't know anything about Clown in a Cornfield other than it looks creepy, and it's coming out.
Yeah,
in May.
if that's the premise, which the title is, good job. No, none of those things.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm not going to that.
The premise is the teenager and their family moves to a small town, and the town has a mascot that's a clown, and the clown is in the cornfield with an axe killing people.
No.
I like
Great.
my slasher horror simple.
I mean, if there was like quicksand and tentacles in that too, I'd be like, no, this is
No.
trauma-inducing. No.
I'm not afraid of
Wow.
clowns, so. I get why people are, but I'm not one of those people. So I'm excited for. I just like cheesy scary movies. I don't like anything with exorcists or the devil or whatever because that's cheesy.
Oh, I love that. I love it. It's like dark and religious.
And also, of course, Final Destination because yes. I don't know that we needed another one, but this is the movie we deserve in 2025. So.
I have everything to bring back. I mean, all I want is just like Jennifer Love Hewitt to show up and be like, "Where are you?" or whatever she says. Like, what are you waiting for? Like,
you're borderline in luck because a reboot of that movie is coming
they're
out.
rebooting that with it's the requel where
Jenna
it's like a
Ortega,
reboot meets sequel. So she and Freddie Prinze Jr. will be there for the new people being stalked. by
I hope
some
it's
guy
like
that
Sabrina
knows what he-
Carpenter is the new her, like just big boobs, no talent. Like, that's-
She was from the part of Texas where my family lived whenever I was Jennifer Love huge tits. So
I like that very much.
she was briefly
Where's she
on
been?
that show I loved that, of course, Criminal Intent? The one with like Paget Brewster and
Oh wow.
where they would hunt down the serial killers and stuff. She was on there
Criminal
for like
Minds.
Criminal Minds. That was the one.
Okay, yeah, because Criminal Intent that had Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah,
And
that
every
was
time he'd start interrogating somebody, he'd start getting lower and tilting more at them, sizing them up.
Yeah,
It's my
Like the
favorite
Dutch
part of the
angle.
show.
start
But
mumble.
you knew about that, didn't you? Because you were look at me.
Where?
Like, just really getting in their head there. Vanessa.
That was a pretty good show. Though. There was that great
I have, like, two
episode
friends
with
that-
Martha Plimpton, and where Martha Plimpton was like the daughter of one of his mentors, and then it turned out she was the serial killer, and she was all crazy.
Yeah.
I
know
gotta love
two women. Oh, sorry. I know two women named Vanessa, and it's like the last 2 weeks, like anytime they show up, and they were like, "Don't," and I'm like, Vanessa,
Vanessa. I can't be without you. I do love his portrayal of Kingpin, but it is batshit crazy.
a lot.
I mean, I will say I've known a couple Vanessas in my true life and like my not YouTubey life. And one of them is a great person, and the rest of them are not the kind of person you would, other than like, Vanessa, get out of this house before we have to kick you out. That was the roommate, Vanessa. And we did have to kick her out. But
Now she's dead. Oh well.
oh no, you can't kill a cockroach. They survive. They'll be here at the end of times. It'll be all the plastic that girl Vanessa that I lived with for that week, and the copy, like all the McFarlane Batman toys we can't get rid of. So anyway, these are the horror movies I'm looking forward to this summer. And by the summer, I mean May, because they all come out in a couple weeks. Probably will not make. Well, I can't see Prom Queen because that's on Netflix, but I mean, at a theater, I'll see it. I'll have to turn on Netflix for that. But all right, now let's get to the woke No, just kidding. We're gonna talk about the woke nonsense of the female Silver Surfer. And there's a woman in this movie who's blonde and she's opinionated and empowered, and she doesn't make sandwiches. So anyway, Fantastic Four. We're looking forward to this, right?
Yes. I'm very aggravated right now because the movie hasn't even come out, and people like that one channel, it keeps popping up, probably because I've been watching stuff related to Fantastic Four, so
Yeah.
he keeps popping up because the algorithm is stupid. Nerdzotic and Nerdzoic, you know what I'm talking about? The guy who looks like a Temu version of Jackie Earl Ray. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that fucker. He's already bitching about it, and he's putting up stuff that, Johnny with the pride flag, which I don't think anything's come out insinuating what Johnny's sexuality is, which, again, who gives a shit? And then posting stuff about Sue, and then, of course, you have everybody freaking out about Shia LaBeouf being the Silver Surfer in this, and it's one, let's maybe wait till the movie comes out. Let's wait and see. Because it might actually just be, well written and well directed and well acted and have great special effects. So maybe calm down. And also, it's an alternate reality, so it doesn't have to play by 616 rules. So again, calm your tits. It's going to be fine. It's a movie.
Also, it could be just the rest of Marvel movies where it's just drab. So, I mean, it could just be a thing that happens and then forgettable. We don't know. Like we don't
You
know when
don't
people
know
like
until it
lose their
fucking
mind.
comes out. Sorry, damn, I said 2 F-bombs.
I still have one.
Ah,
Yes. No, you're right. Like it's gonna go one of two ways. It's either going to be crappy, which I really hope it's not. I think there's another movie we're gonna talk about tonight that I really think Marvel, this is their return to form, because I mean Phase 4 was a drudge.
Yep.
Or a slog. I mean, the Eternals.
the Eternals would have been good if it was a 13-part Disney Plus series, so they could have actually told that story properly without cramming it all into like
Maybe
an Eternal like.
To answer CJ's question, that is supposed to be Shia LaBeouf, who is Norrin. The proper Silver Surfer is Norrin Rad. That's the dude. On his planet. What was his planet's name again?
Rad? No.
All right,
No.
let's see if I can do the voice without practicing. Like my voiceover. The character first appeared.
Oh no.
Stanley
Galactus got her.
Oh. Shia LaBeouf is depicted as the love interest of Norrin Rad, aka the Silver Surfer.
What was their planet's name?
It's a great question.
That's like it's on the tip of my tongue.
Is it Zenla?
Zenla.
Zenla.
That was his love interest. In some versions his wife, in others his fiance. But he sacrificed himself to become the Silver Surfer, to lead him away, lead Galactus away from his planet and save her and save his fellow citizens and stuff. So it looks like in this reality, she became the Silver Surfer. Now, I do know in 616, there are versions where she did become the Silver Surfer. There's the Earth X reality where the Franklin Richards version of Galactus has the Silver Surfers, and it's Norrin and Shia LaBeouf together. So, yeah, it's going to be fine.
The orange one? Wasn't there like an orange one, like a brief herald, and she had that sort of like fiery hair?
Frankie.
Yes.
Yeah, Nova.
Yeah, she was one of the best like Toy Biz figures, like super like vac metal chromed out. Like she was incredible.
Yeah, she was pretty rad. I think that was that Silver Surfer line from Toy Biz where there was like 15 weird, different painted versions of Silver Surfer. A fine Galactus. It was fine. It was better than
happened.
It was made. It was fine. And then I know Frankie was made, her Nova character. I think that was it. No, there was a wasn't there a Pip the Troll and an Adam Warlock that was a part of that line? And a Beta Ray Bill.
Definitely Adam Warlock.
Yeah. And I think they
because like the cartoon was very short lived.
13 Glorious Saturdays on Fox Kids.
Yeah.
It was
gone like that.
It was such a bad show that when we did our first Make Mine Marvel month at the beginning of season 2, I combined it with Avengers United They Stand. Another not great show.
Was that the one where they got like the mech gear, or was that the?
Yeah, they had the tech, the mechy kind of tech gear.
Oh, it was awful.
It was terrible. Ant-Man was the leader, and his mask looked like the Shell logo.
Yeah. I watched it recently. I don't know why, but I was like, I've watched 3 episodes back in the day. I was like, it was dumb. It was made to sell toys, but I'm like, surely it's not that bad. Oh God, it was. Like,
I assure you, it is.
Like,
very, very bad.
Yep.
But yeah, that's who that is. It's Shia LaBeouf, his girlfriend, his fiance in the 616. So it looks like she's a Silver Surfer in this. I think I have high hopes for this. I think Marvel is actually putting a lot of effort into this. This is the best looking thing we've had, I think, ever.
Yep.
I had a better looking. Oh, the character. Never mind.
Okay. Herbie actually looks kind of neat here. I think what makes him more palatable is that the actual Human Torch is there. We don't have a robot stand-in like in 1978.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that little thing.
Oh yeah.
why Herbie was
Hence
there.
the Herbie of the month at the end of every month on yesterdays.
Timu R2.
Yeah. Timu R2.
R2 Timu. There we go.
Yeah.
thing is,
Clearly
like,
an inspiration for T-Bob.
The thing about the Silver Surfer too, just to circle back to that, is that like originally in the comics, Silver Surfer came and he's like, I mustn't, and he was so like torn about being drama queen that he is.
Yes.
He's like, I don't want to be Galactus' herald, but I am, and it was like all this sort of like internal strife about it. Yeah, great dramatic storytelling, and that's something we could have in the future. But for this, this reality, for this version, this chick shows up and she's like, I'm here to wreck your shit. Hey, there's my one. We're here just to like eat your planet, deal with it. So she's very much like it very much feels like she's a villain, very like to the point, set the stage. So when another Silver Surfer maybe comes in the MCU later, you're like, oh, oh no.
Yeah. That's a good point, because it's pretty clear that this is a universe where they are the only set of heroes. It is a retro-futuristic 1966, or it's like the future according to the World's Fair in 1966. We won't actually know until the movie comes out, but the theory floating around is by movie's end, at least this iteration of the Fantastic Four is going to end up universe hopping. So what happens when another Silver Surfer shows up, and maybe it is Norrin Rad? Well, maybe it's a Norrin Rad that's like showing up to be like, hey, I want to help you, but they're distrustful at first because the last one, well,
because this chick,
she did some bad stuff. She was a bad boss bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. The cartoon was animated very well. It just,
really trippy.
I had a bunch of those Toy Biz Silver Surfer figures that, because they were so plain, I used Sculpey and paint to turn into a Justice League.
Yeah, that was like Customizer's dream.
The thing is, like, I've always liked the Fantastic Four, but I don't think I've ever actually read more than a few issues. Like, as much as I like the idea, every time I would sort of like stop and read it, I was like, ugh. I was just like, this is bad. I don't want it. So like, I want to like this, and I'm hoping this sort of like, more than Thunderbolts even, I hope this steers the ship in a different direction, like a more comic booky. And again, like, I love that their costumes are not the same goddamn thing we've seen for the past like 10, 15 years. I mean, everyone between Asgard, Deep Space, the Quantumverse, everyone has the exact same tailor, and this looks like truly something new and different. So I'm like, thank you. Like, literally anything else but that.
Well, and that's kind of my overall sort of growing sort of disenchantment overall with superhero movies, is that everyone's costume looks the same. And it's really sort of boring. And like, the thing about even like DC and Marvel is, like, back in the day, Justice League, everyone's costume was its own thing. So you had Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman sort of in these iconic, slowly upgraded from like the 40s when they all debuted, but still iconic. And then you have, say, like Red Tornado, who has that because of the design he got in the 70s, it's very much of the 70s. It's got a Kirby-esque thing to it with the lines and everything. And the Elongated Man had different, and then you've got all the Silver Age heroes with their, so it's like
everybody stood out.
Yeah, everyone looked really distinctive, and I kind of miss with, like, I know, people don't like talking about the Eternals, but the Eternals all have the same damn costume in the movie, and that's not what they looked like in the comics. And their costumes were very...
Shauna's right here. She got in the laundry room. She's looking, because I have to show up on the TV just to see like chats and stuff as well. And she's just, Andrew is just so cute.
Adorable.
Hi, Shauna.
Hi, Shauna.
Did you hear her just shout, he's so adorable?
Get to know me, you'll change your mind. Don't worry.
No, she likely won't. Sorry, had to interrupt for her tomfoolery.
No, it's fine.
Wonderful. No, you are right. That was one thing wonderful about this, especially the satellite era. everybody stood out with their costumes, and that is something that's really been missing
Yep.
from this MCU. Is it's everything's pattern fairly similar, or you will have 2 or 3 characters that all look alike next to 2 or 3 characters that all look alike, and so on and so on.
And they're
It's
from
like,
wildly different areas. It's not
Yeah.
even so much Earth. You're like, Asgard should look, you don't have to look like leather and fur, but look different than
yeah,
Guardians, than
Well, I mean,
Eternals,
like
than Iron
Thor's
Man. Like,
costume, Captain America's costume, Black Widow's costume. In the movies, they're very much
Yeah.
all
yeah,
the
Just-
same tailor, as you mentioned. Whereas in the comic books, like, you've got super duper Kirby Thor, and you've got technically Captain America was Kirby from the 40s, but at the same time, it's got that 40s vibe of like a bodysuit and trunks. And
veneer boots and chainmail.
and that is to me one of the things that really stands out. These are not, the Fantastic Four always had like costumes that matched. But this isn't every other superhero costume. Like, it just has a
Yeah.
vibe to it, and that's, I think, part of why for me it does feel like we're not going to get
Yeah,
the
course
same
correction.
old shit.
the other thing too is like these characters are so 60s esque and so much different than what we're usually getting. Because the other thing is too, like I found with Marvel, and this isn't like Andrew dumps on Marvel Hour, but like I was getting really sick of it early. I hated it before it was cool. And I remember like going to Ant-Man and I'm like, this is like a dreaded obligation. Like it's gonna be a Tony Stark character, strong female character who's anything but the same tailor, kill the villain, beam in the sky. It's gonna be the same thing. And it was for years. And like it's just it was getting exhausting. So every time a new character would come up, I'm like, here's RDJ Jr. Like, I'm snarky and quippy, and you're like, shut up and like take this seriously for a hot second. So I find like these four, like they're very earnest. They're just very much like earnestly in this World's Fair universe, this fantasy land. And I kind of like that. And again, like we're not getting like Reed's like, I'm quippy. Like he's just like a big nerd. I'm fine with it.
He's a nerdy family man. Like you have the couple. And then I'm sure you're going to have the typical things that make Johnny and Ben classic. Like you can already tell Johnny's got like some silliness to him. Ben's going to have some tragedy to him, but also some humor to him as well. And Alex just pointed out in the chats too, like it does get frustrating when it's like every movie you have to have somebody in there that's quippy. You have to have somebody in there that's acerbic and all this stuff. Like, dude, like just, you can have a movie where somebody is kind of moody or maybe kind of depressed, like we're going to talk about it. Daredevil, like nobody felt the need to be silly and funny and ha 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 with a one-liner in Daredevil. And that was refreshing. It was very refreshing.
There doesn't need to be anybody who like looks at the camera and goes like, isn't this weird? And you're like, just go with it. Like, we're here with you. Just go. You don't need to stop everything and make some stupid pun about how ridiculous everything is. We know.
Yeah.
We know.
We
That's why we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. This is better than the real world. This is why we're here. We get it.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's going to be good.
It'll be better than the Corman version for sure. So we've got that.
Well, come on.
The costumes are incredible in that one. Don't fuck with me. Like it's so
Yeah,
good.
but the rest of that movie, not so much.
No.
The Corman one's better than Fan-for-astic, whatever that fucking movie. Damn, I'm sorry.
Fan-for-sticker.
Okay, so here's the first Fantastic Four movie with Jessica Alba and Captain America. I mean, Chris Evans and whoever it was playing Mr. Fantastic, and
how do you say his name? Ian?
I don't know.
Ruffled?
I don't even remember his like face. He's like a jar of mayonnaise.
Yeah. But apparently it had a huge wiener and they had to like install pieces to hide it. So that's my trivia.
Yeah, he is infamously hung.
There we go.
Yep.
Good to know.
Huge.
And then wasn't it the commish who was like the thing in that
Thank
one?
you for saying commish. Thank you. Yes, Michael Chiklis.
What else would I say?
Who else is he?
Yeah,
Well,
right?
it's some people are like, oh, that guy from The Shield. No.
I never watched
No.
The Shield.
The guy from The Commish.
Yeah, I
You
never watched The Shield.
Luddites.
I didn't have whatever channel that was on when it was on, and it just looks
Oh,
like
that's like when FX was starting to lean away from syndication and stuff like that. To
the only two things I watch on
programming.
FX are American Horror
NYPD Blue.
Story, which I don't watch anymore, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but they've moved that to like FXXXX times 7 or something.
Yeah,
Plus,
just keep adding X's.
Oh yeah, Ian
It
Griffin.
is Ian.
Yeah.
Okay.
there
Oh, so he's like, it's that Irish pronunciation where you're like,
Yeah.
they spell it like Siobhan is
where it sounds
Siobhan or
like
something.
you're trying to eat potato soup while not coughing up a phlegm grabber and keeping it all in your mouth. So
I mean, I am Irish, so like, trust me, our pronunciation, the way I speak is never good when I go home, so it's fine.
well,
That was Welsh,
there we
that's
go.
even worse.
It's all
He runs
it's all
like a
Welsh to me.
Welshman.
And really quick, the impossible. I wonder if he'll come out of retirement for that. So,
Again,
that would be funny. They should do that.
yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So, any final thoughts before we go to our next slide? Silver boobies. Okay.
Yeah. If you are the incel type, freaking MCU, shut up, and just go
Just don't
watch
care.
the movie first. Like,
Here's some naked synergy. There you go.
yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Calm
She's a
down. Go
silver
see it
surfer.
first.
She's the lavender surfer, you guys. It's super woke. Anyway.
It's gay coding.
Also, I hope like Johnny's very like pansexual. Like he's just known as a man hoe. So I'm like, lean in,
Yeah.
sis, and like just be a hoe.
He just want, yeah. If it ain't nailed down, he's gonna nail it. So,
Yeah. But I'm.
yup. Ooh, have you guys watched this? Have you guys watched
I have.
the new Daredevil yet?
I have not.
Yep. Front to
And
back.
I also need to admit I never finished the original.
That's fine.
It was
I mean,
diminishing
it was
returns
good. It
for
just
sure.
it was really dark. You know. So.
The original Netflix
Yeah.
series, it was it was diminishing returns. It just like kind of got a little weaker, and I think part of the problem was they like, okay, well, we're gonna do a Punisher series. We need a Jessica Jones series. We need to do. They tried doing too much at once, and they needed it all to fit in. I think if you would have pulled Iron Fist, like that's a series that did not need to happen.
Oof.
But he was hot, so I.
Was he?
Was he?
He was super hot. Yeah.
Was he?
Look,
He was-
he was my type. I'm just saying that's hot.
As representative of the gays, no one was beating it to that. I can tell you, like
That's
Luke Cage, Daredevil,
I've
yes,
I've
but not
been
him.
dating
Yeah.
gay men in my 20s. I don't need to. I need
He's like, I don't need to justify
Yeah,
my love to you. Like, I love
Um,
JC Chazé from
Chazé.
Netscape too. So JC
Chazé.
Chazé. I
Oh
had
no,
questionable
it's,
choices.
it's almost time for. It's gonna be May soon. Anyway,
Oh, it is going to be.
anything
May.
now.
and break out your ramen. Anyway,
Henry and I had ramen tonight. He was hankering for some ramen. I
So-
did make him
You're
eat
used to
healthy
it.
food first.
okay. So
was-
have you have been watching this though, right, Jarek?
Oh, I finished it.
Mhm.
If I didn't watch it every Tuesday when it came out, I watched it immediately the following day.
Okay, but it's still dark, like the original.
Oh, it's very dark. And
okay.
it's-
And see that is
Yeah.
that's kind of, even though like I haven't watched it yet, I'll get to it. Disney Plus is turned off right now. I'm gonna wait until there's a few more shows backed up, and then it'll just knock it all out in a few months.
Yeah.
You know what? There was one episode midway through that that's the one that stands out. And it was kind of like the goofy standalone bank robber episode, very much like a bottle show
Oh, yeah.
where it all takes place
Kind
in
of
a
bottle
bank.
episode, yeah.
And he's not even Daredevil technically for most of it, but it's like,
Yeah.
there's some graphic stuff, like some knee breaking, there's some things in it, but I mean, nevertheless, like, favorite episode. There's some really good, like, there's some bangers in the series, but that's the one that a lot of other people had an issue with. But I was like, this is fun. Like, this is comic booky.
Yeah.
This is sort of like a standalone thing that was really interesting.
Well, and it did a really good job of. Well, we kind of talked about this last night. So we just recorded some episodes for May for yesterday's, and one of the things we covered was the Rocketeer. An aspect we talked about was a lawsuit that happened between Marvel and Dave Stevens, the creator, and they cited an issue of Daredevil where a villain called the Rocketeer was in it, and Marvel was like saying, well, this is going to hurt our brand. And a point I make in there is like, look, it wasn't until a certain point in the 80s that Daredevil started becoming a commodity. And it's when it started getting like right, wrong, or indifferent, and say what you will about Frank Miller. It really wasn't until he got his hands on Daredevil, wrote the actual Born Again storyline, and we did see some more violent stuff in there and see how competent of a combatant Matt could be from a martial arts standpoint. And this show really showcases the hell out of it. The fight scenes get like bones are broken, joints are hyperextended. Bone is piercing skin with the break. So it is compound fractures. It is, you don't see all the blood up until a certain point, that is. And I will say, if you are squeamish at all, there's about the last 15 minutes of the very last episode. Buckle up, Buttercup, because it is a violent ending. I am excited. The funny
thing, too, is the last episode was made, let's say, 9 months ago, 6 to 9 months ago. But I mean, like the way it was dropped during very specific political circumstances in the real world, like it lined up so well that I was like, there's no way you could have planned this, but good job.
This is the happiest accident ever. Like just how this lined up. Like it is pretty
due process.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, they end up booting the creative teams. Episode 1 and the last 2 episodes were from the original Netflix team. So it's you had some change ups in the creative teams involved, but it came together into a really great show. You really don't see him a whole lot in costume, which I kind of like. I like that he wasn't in costume that much. It just, this to me, I was excited by all the previews and then dove into it, enjoyed the hell out of it. And I walked away thinking, okay, I think Marvel is getting their teeth back. They're kind of going back in they're getting recentered to, okay, instead of just churning out content after content after content after content. And this may seem like a bit of a hot take, but I'll call it what it is, half-assing their way through representation to the point that it gives fuel to the fire of the neckbeards out there, instead of actually taking the time to have inclusion and representation and write it well. Like this was a nice return the form. It's Swiss watch.
I mean, I can say as a middle-aged white man, but still gay. So like sort of that sort of aspect of it. I mean, when they were sort of being like, Valkyrie's gay in Thor, and you're like, is she? Like, I don't know. But I mean, so that was like just sort of tacked on bull.
Again, I think she just likes to,
just screw around and put on her. But I mean, the thing is, like, Wiccan and Agatha was completely different. Like, I mean, he was spectacular, like a great character.
Yeah.
I mean, not like, like I know people like this, very annoying, but I know people like this. So it's like they actually like spent the time to actually like develop a very fan favorite character and actually make him like integral to the story and not shy away from anything. And like, that's better. Like, do that.
Yeah.
And I will really quick, CJ, Doom Patrol, I felt like if you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. I do feel like they did a really good job with sort of the diversity of it without
being message heavy.
Yeah, it didn't. With Disney Marvel the last few years, I really felt there's been some plug-in, like, oh, we need to put this right here, which is a little frustrating because Marvel has many characters who could fill those roles.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean like, oh, they race or gender swap somebody. I mean, there are actual characters that they could use.
Yeah,
that are equally iconic. Whereas with Doom Patrol, I really felt like they took the characters and pretty faithfully adapted them.
Yeah.
There were a few places that they changed. But it worked because it actually had writing behind it. They had good actors and actresses and performers.
Yeah.
So,
And it wasn't just placeholders or messages being like, look, women. And it was just like, there was like, everyone was part of the story. Everyone was like integral to the story. They had their own subplots. Like it wasn't, and you see that in Star Wars a bit, where like Kathleen Kennedy went on the big, not to be like, Kathleen's the devil, but she was like,
I don't know that was Kathleen Kennedy, because if you know anything about her, she may have said that publicly, but Kathleen Kennedy is not, I've only met her the one time, but my impression of Kathleen Kennedy is she's not, Kathleen Kennedy wants to cash that check, so she may mirror what Disney is telling her to mirror, and the hires and some of their choices may be in line with what Disney is telling them their marketing says that they need. But Kathleen Kennedy, I think Kathleen Kennedy's job is to make sure Star Wars makes money, and that
she's a
she
producer,
retires
so
mega rich. So like,
and she will, I think too, like Disney was largely a girls' brand. Like they made major bank from Disney princesses, and that's why they went after Star Wars and Marvel, because they're like, we want boys' money.
Yeah.
But then they got it, and they're like, let's do female messaging that's really half-assed and insincere, and try to have it both ways. And you're like, you can't, like, don't, like,
no, man,
don't do
like,
it.
Yeah, you can't. If you're gonna have messaging or you're gonna have representation, you cannot half-ass it, because people will see through it very quickly.
It also is really important that it's from the actual, like, if you're representing somebody in your film franchise, you know, like, oh, we need an LGBTQI person for this role. Your writer's room has to be somebody that actually has that lived experience, and I can
speak intelligently to it.
And I don't think a lot of, you know, like I know that they've brought in some. They've brought in like various people of colors into some of the writing rooms, but I don't know that is always the right writing rooms. If you like,
well, I mean, as Bo DeMeo will tell you, like it's not great over at Disney for people of color kind of thing. So like, I mean, but the thing is too, like when you have, even, I mean, I can't speak to the Black experience, but I mean, I can see dollar signs. So like you look at X-Men 97, the visceral experience that Bo DeMeo brought to that. You look at Sinners just this past weekend, making huge bank, and also like because it was like people trust Michael B. Jordan, people trust even like say like Tyler Perry. Like you will get the Black audience to show up and drop the money on it because they're like, these are people who are speaking to us,
right?
And the sincerity, it works every time.
There's a reason the first Black Panther movie had the impact it did, because they got people who actually, and it felt like instead of building and improving on that, Marvel, the Marvel side of it, I feel like rested on their laurels and didn't actually take away from that. Like, we actually got the right people to write and make these movies. Instead, it was like, well, if we hire a couple of people who look like that and then stick them on these teams with like 17 white people, it'll work.
Yep.
And I think that's where some of the disconnect is, because, you know, it's just because you have 2 or 3 people that are the right, I hate saying it like this, but this is how Hollywood looks at it. We've got 3 people who are the right demographic for us to tell the story, but we're not actually going to let them write the story.
Yeah, no, and that's a fair critique, because it's like out of their mouth, they're saying the words, the right demographic, but their actions say, well, they're the right, insert anything that's not a white dude, not a straight white dude. And that's what you're really saying. And it's just, you're just trying to check a box so you feel like you have cool points and like, nope, see, we do care. No, you don't. If you did care, you'd hire the right people
because
to be the right voice and write this well based on their own experiences.
Yeah. And I think it makes a difference. And I think, again, I Black Panther, I feel like they nailed the points, and that's why Black Panther worked.
Oh yeah.
Black Panther #2 I enjoyed, but I don't know. they could have gotten all the stars correct, but with the loss of the original actor, it's just no way. I
Yeah.
feel like I feel
They had
like
an
that's
impossible chore with that one. Like, there's
yeah.
no way
I
to
don't.
win.
There's
Like,
no way to win that one. So we're going to, like Black Panther 2, I don't critique in
Yeah.
that manner because they had an impossible task.
Yeah.
Because there's no way they could just not do the sequel. There's no way to just abandon it, right?
Yeah.
or to
But there's
course
also
correct. Like, you had to have this like transition, some
yeah,
kind of transition, either a new Black Panther or his sister, which was a thing in the comics, or like you had to do something. You had
yeah.
to
You
address
had
what
to think of
happened.
something.
They
Yeah.
couldn't just
Yeah.
make it go away. And it also wouldn't have worked, in my opinion, just to recast the role. I feel like he was so
Yeah.
iconic in that it wouldn't have worked. So
Mm-mm. That would have been a really hard pill to swallow for a lot of people.
and I feel like that's a
Yeah.
lot of I think the phase that Black Panther 2 hit on, I think that was a big part of why like 50% of the stumble, I think, in that phase was losing him and losing the character because I think they had structured a lot of it around him.
Yeah.
And I think they didn't know how to, and instead of just pausing everything and saying, like, we're going to take 6 months off and reconfigure, they just kept going and
Yeah.
made it up ad hoc, which never works. So,
And I think that's a lesson they've been learning, especially phase 4 into phase 5. Are we about to go into phase 6 with Daredevil and Fantastic Four?
I don't.
It is hard to keep
Who
up.
knows?
and
It's hard to
Alex, I do remember hearing that, but I think he wanted that, but at the same time, I would have had a hard time seeing any 5 years from now. Yeah, I could see them, reintroducing a new actor in that role, but not that soon because he was so good. He was so iconic.
Yeah. Well,
the thing is, we had this clunky sequel so that we can do that. So like we had to have this like passing of the torch, and he has a son secretly, and there's all these sort of things set up that you could, if sure he did, fans did respond to her, we could just go in that direction. They did not. Yeah. So there is a secret son. We can go in that direction. Yeah. Post Secret Wars when he's like aged up. I mean, there's options now. Yeah. To do that, but you needed this awkward clunker in the middle to like do that first. So.
Yeah, I agree 100%. They should have just, and again, they rushed it because Marvel movies are like, at the time, like we have to release 4 movies a year, 17 shows, and all of this.
And the thing too is like they'll do their like, this movie is on this date in 2 years, and people are like, do we have a script? Do we have a director? Do we have pre-production, storyboards, anything? And they're like, nah, we'll fix it in post. And you're like, no, like you need to have. I mean, like before they worked on Lord of the Rings for like 2 years before even like rolling a camera. Like, no.
Yeah, and I think overall, I think sort of the machine of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is what's been hurting it. Also, the sameness of it, which is kind of why, even though I haven't finished the original Daredevil, I haven't started this one yet. It is part of why I'm looking forward.
Don't feel like you have to. Don't. Yeah.
I'm also looking forward to Fantastic Four in this because they're so different. You've got the 60s Silver Age brightness of this is dark, it's gritty. It's not the sameness. So
yes, you have 3 things: Daredevil, followed by Thunderbolts coming out in about a week, and then Fantastic Four. All 3 are very different. And that is a spicy. Yes, I am. I have not been this excited for a Marvel movie in quite some time. I'm actually excited for this.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't gone to a Marvel movie in theaters, particularly opening night, in like many, many years. And I'm going to this like not Thursday, I'm going Friday. But I mean, a Bucky and Florence Pugh and like Red Guardian. I mean, like I'm sold. The rest of you could die. I don't care. But like those 3, I'm here. Like, and hopefully you do. Hopefully you do. But Avengers might have spoiled that. And even like, I mean, even John Walker?
John Walker, USA.
I mean, such a dirtbag, but he's so good at being a dirtbag that I'm like, sign me up.
Yeah. He's such a ruddy bastard in the comics and here too. So it's so again, it's different. It's different than this cookie cutter crap that they've been doing these last couple phases of. Here's this mark, and now you're gonna do this, and this part in this movie, and and now we did this. Roll credits and the credit scene.
Well, and then and again, sorry for everyone who hates Eternals, but going back to, I disliked it myself. But going back to Eternals, that's sort of the problem with it, though, is like they tried to cookie cutter it instead of actually stepping back and saying we have like this massive universe within the universe here, and instead of like
mythology.
You know, and they cast. I mean, the fact that you have Salma Hayek, Angelina Jolie.
Mm-hmm.
And
you had a good cast.
You know, like they had a pretty amazing cast, and the fact that it was still such a chore to get through it.
Yeah,
and I literally was lost, and I'm like, Selma Hayek. Oh wait, and it really was weird because I disliked it. It didn't work. I want more of it because I was like, if they just given this 10 episodes to spread that story out, instead of and there are, like I feel like there are a couple of the TV shows. What was the Bucky and Falcon show? What was that one called?
Up until the last episode, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then the last episode is titled Captain America. And
that was a show. That was a show that I watched that I felt like this would have been a really good 1.5, 2-hour movie instead of 5 or 6 episodes.
And dragging this out. But yeah, Eternals could have been like, you could have had a really interesting through the truly ages. You could have had like Roman times. You could have gone through, medieval, the Renaissance. You could have had how they affected humanity through the ages.
Yeah.
And worn different costumes than the crappy tinfoil, whatever.
They literally. The scope of Eternals, 100%. Like Disney could have had a Game of Thrones level epic story with that instead of this really clunky, painful to sit through 3 hours because they're throwing so much at you that you can't absorb any of it and enjoy any of it. So
and the things that were supposed to pay off. Hey, nostalgia, Nate.
Yes, CJ, you can.
The stuff that was supposed to pay off in Eternals is not going to pay off because they're not really doing much with the Black Knight. I'm breaking on the actor's name, but I think he's out as Blade. I don't think that's happening.
Jon Snow. Oh god, that's not good.
And that kept like the closest we got to that was an off-camera cameo of him warning him about touching the ebony blade. The odd thing of that movie that had some form of quote unquote payoff is the Tiamat apparently is the source for adamantium.
And it's sticking out of the earth in a big way. There's a huge head. It's weird.
Head and a hand sticking out of the damn ocean. Like, okay, cool. I guess we're just going to
talk about
this. Let this happen. Sure, adamantium. Why not?
Strange. That's it. Thunderbolts. The one thing I actually do like Thunderbolts. Like I was sort of off Marvel at the time, and then they came around. I want to say like 96, 95, somewhere around there.
I think I was freshman.
I was in. Yeah.
So,
but they were like the Masters of Evil disguised as heroes kind of thing, and I really like that. And I feel like Songbird was the one character who really kind of stuck with the team over its many iterations. So when they announced this, I was like, could you just get her? Like, even if you just introduce her, like she's sort of the Martian Manhunter of the Thunderbolts. Like she's always around. So.
Yeah.
Come on, mid-credit scene.
Yeah, you never know. We may get her into mid-credits. I'm super excited for this. It is a ragtag group. These are anti-hero kind of characters. I think it's going to be really rad. And this is a great cast. Like David Harbour just gobbles up any role he's in. Florence, Sebastian Stan, Kurt Russell's son, I can't remember his first name, Wyatt. And I'm going to be very interested to see how they handle Bob, aka the Sentry and the Void. That looks very interesting. I think this is cinematically. I think this is Marvel kind of announcing like, okay, yeah, we're back, baby. and I hope they stick with that. So.
My only real hope is if they do a mid-credit scene, or if they do like an after-credit scene or whatever. All it is for Thunderbolts 2. A lot of there are many reasons why I have felt burnt out on Marvel, but it's also this obligation that you have to watch 30 shows, 17 movies, and like keep track of all of this stuff for it to pay off.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they do some self-contained stuff that you don't have to watch 30 other things to understand.
Yeah, just pump the brakes.
Like, I really dug WandaVision, and then I was really bummed out that instead of getting a season 2, I had to watch that terrible Doctor Strange movie, and that it didn't actually pay off.
You guys didn't care for that much?
The Multiverse of Mediocrity, I think that was the name of it, right?
Yep.
And, you know...
And the worst thing is, like, whatever phase we're in, all of the cut scenes, all of the hype, all of the mid-credit, end-credit scenes, they were like, here's that pop star playing some like there's all these things being thrown in the fire, and none of them are paying off. Like,
the
none of them
movie
are actually
ended
leading
3
to
hours
anything.
ago, but you're still watching credits for like extended mid-credit scenes.
Friggin' Harry Styles is damn Star Fox.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm like, who cares? Who cares?
Patton friggin' Oswald is Pip the Troll.
That's right.
I like Patton Oswalt though.
I used to really like him. I really did, but he's
enjoy him.
Kind of gotten under my skin these last couple years. Werewolf and Lollipops is still one of my favorite stand-up albums, though.
But I need the Thunderbolts to be the Thunderbolts, and I don't need it to lead into, like
just be the Suicide Squad. Just lead into that.
Be your
like,
thing.
And that's fine.
Yep. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just do it.
We will like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be like, here's Moondragon, and you're like, what are you talking about? Like, we don't need Moondragon here.
Right. Nobody needs Moondragon here.
Nobody.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if they had done, if they had actually kept WandaVision self-contained, we could be on WandaVision season 4, and it would be the 80s.
Yeah.
We could have a wonky 80s sitcom WandaVision season 4. Like,
sweet Miller Boyette music.
And, and this is also, like, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, always have been, but I also feel really burned out. And I'm one of the few people who really like the Accolade, and I don't care that other people didn't like that or whatever. Mm-hmm. Good, it wasn't for you. It was
not everything.
I enjoyed it. I loved it. In the immortal words of Brie Larson, "Go watch something else, fucker." That's not what she said. But
she's thinking
it. You didn't like it, and that's fine. Everything is.
I just remember watching it. It was like I was like, it's fine. Like, it wasn't like blowing my mind, but I'm like, I'm interested in the mystery. I want to see how this ends. And like, the reaction was really big. Like, I was really surprised every week, being like, people like losing their minds over the show. They still talk about it. So I'm like,
why were people
it's fine.
Why were people so mad at that show? So
I don't know.
When it comes to, I was just thinking about this today. When it comes to Star Wars, like, I have an appreciation for the prequels because those came out when I was in high school. The sequel trilogy doesn't bother me. It's like, okay, fine. I love the original 3 because that's more of what I grew up on. And like, I have an appreciation for supporting media of it. I think it's, and this is a problem Disney has had. They've like, just keep churning out Star Wars, just start churning out more Star Wars. They did it with Marvel. You think they would have learned, like, hey, calm down. But what I don't get is the Acolyte in particular. The Acolyte, sorry if I'm saying it wrong. That and She-Hulk, like, both series, like, just the YouTube creators like The Quartering and Nerdrotic and all this stuff, freaking the hell out and saying all this vitriol about it. And like when She-Hulk was out, and then now when the Acolyte, The show that people lost their minds over.
Alka-Seltzer.
The Alka-Seltzer.
The
The
electrolyte.
I watched that show.
The Gatorade, I'm good to go.
I don't understand why people would lose it. Like, what was? You guys know more about Star Wars lore than I do. You're both way bigger Star Wars kids than I ever was.
So this is the thing.
What
Like,
was
I
the
just
problem
love
with that
Star
show?
Wars. No, I
Because
will say I
lesbians.
did not care. I'm one of the few people who didn't really like the Mandalorian stuff. I felt
Okay.
like most of the Mandalorian felt like it was pandering to fandom. But you know what? Lots of people loved that. So you know what? I love that they have
And
some
let
Star
'em.
Wars that they really love
Yeah.
and enjoy. Like that's good for them.
And the other thing is like it's sort of
I
like
just like
Superman.
Star Wars. I like that universe.
Yeah.
I like the stories. That I watch the holiday special every year for Christmas. I
Same,
love
same.
it. Once a year for Christmas, I can like make it. And I'm sorry, anyone who can't appreciate B. Arthur serenading Cantina aliens
For
you
10
know, for
minutes.
this 1978 version of like Semisonic's Closing Time. I
Yep.
feel sorry for you. You have
Or
no
be our
joy in your
guest.
life.
Like,
Are we
But-
not going to talk about Lumpy's VR porno chair?
Well, I
oh,
mean,
no.
we
with Deion Carroll with her boob out, yeah. The thing about Star Wars too is like we were there in the 70s kind of thing. So there's like apparently at the time people didn't like Return of the Jedi. I don't get it. But people hated the Droids cartoon. They hated the Ewoks cartoon. They hated the Caravan of Courage.
I did dislike
and then
those
expanded.
movies.
I did not like them myself, but I mean, like I did like the cartoons. But then, like the expanded universe came out, and again, there's some books that I still read. Like I still reread them to this day. There's some that are hot trash.
Right.
Not everything needs to be for you, and not everything needs to be a home run. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's sort of the Superman problem too of the summer, where everyone's like, this movie has to be the most perfect representation of my vision of Superman.
No, it just
And
needs to be
that's not
good.
going to happen.
There were a lot of people
That's
who
it. It's like
Lois and Clark with Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher and loved
I
it.
love
And
that.
like,
loved it.
I mean, like, good for them. Like, again, they had a Superman that they loved and enjoyed. Good for them. Like, I did not care for it. You know what? I just didn't watch it.
I think Terry Hatcher was one of the better Lois Lanes. I said it.
She's a good Lois
great.
Lane, you know. She's all right. I much preferred her on Desperate Housewives. I feel like that's much more her personality.
I liked her on Seinfeld.
Also, that one of
I
Jerry's
watched her on
girlfriends.
Seinfeld.
They're real and they're spectacular.
And they're spectacular.
He wasn't Dolores on Seinfeld, was she?
No. She was.
No.
It was the fake boobs. Jerry's dating a girl. He doesn't know if they're fake
I
boobs.
just rewatched the
And Elaine
because
had
I
to go to
randomly will just rewatch. I
Those
just
are up in the
randomly
summer.
rewatched the Brawless Wonder episode.
Sue Ellen Mishke,
Yeah, and the
Sue
one where they
Ellen.
had to tell Elaine she was a
the
terrible
heiress to the O. Henry fortune.
yeah, right.
What a strange thing.
But I don't know. Again, I think this is. I mean, we may, and again, I know there are some people who are like, "You guys make fun of Todd McFarlane all the time." That's different.
Sure do.
Yeah.
When Todd comes out and tells you he's a piece of crap,
Yeah.
and then you still defend him, you need to go back and watch when he said he told you he was a piece of crap. Like
I don't know.
the
Like,
debate is over.
With Star Wars, with the Marvel thing, like if I don't like a movie or I'm not interested in it, I just don't watch it, and that's money I don't have to spend. It's time I can do something I do enjoy, and I don't. Active
Or let it go. I mean, some things are bad. It is what it is. And there's a lot of Star Wars. And there's a lot of Star Wars before Disney. There was a lot of Star Wars before Disney.
I read all of
This
the
is
Star
not just a
Wars
Disney problem.
from like
I mean, there kind of was though.
from the Zahn trilogy until like Disney until they killed Chewbacca. I read it all. And,
I read it all, and some of them were not good. Like Kevin
there
J.
was
Anderson
the
is not
Black
good.
Fleet Crisis.
That was good.
It had Lobot. I read it because I'm a Lobot girly. I love Lobot.
I'm a horse girl. I'm a Lobot girl.
I'm a Lobot fan.
Flared pants, the puffy sleeves, the like silent
blouse.
but vacant. He had a little computer on his head, so like you could get, anyway. But and Kevin J. Anderson, perfect example. He wrote some bad Star Wars books with some fun characters. So I would read all of his stuff. grudgingly because he introduced some cool characters and some cool concepts. He just wasn't the best writer. So
No.
Yeah,
they
the
did
Lois
have, you know,
Lex Luthor was pretty good.
again, like Superman is Superman. If you like Superman, even if it's a bad Superman, there are going to be things about it that are cool. Like, I think, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, again, like Eternals. Sorry guys to keep going back to Eternals. I even found things to enjoy about Eternals, even though it felt like 17 years of my life in 3 hours I will never get back.
So long.
So long.
So
But there
very
were,
long.
Too
but
long.
there were some good things in there, and I think
Man, a Shevitz,
Yeah.
that was a fun
it's
movie.
rare for me to like turn something off and not finish it.
I did that with Quantumania.
Which one
Like,
was that?
That was the
The
third.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I made 3 Ant-Man. Huh.
Oh God, why? But they didn't need one. But I mean, like, yeah, I was in the theater for that, and I was like in the dead center of the theater. I'm like, I need to get out of here. I just need
I
to go,
enjoyed
man.
the first Ant-Man though, because originally it was the tone of it was different than the other Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
And then I remember the second Ant-Man, it felt like every other Marvel movie at that point. So
Yeah. I think for some reason, I think what also tainted my experience with it was I had just, I think like maybe a month prior, finally sat down to watch Black Adam. And that took me 3 passes to finish.
Yep.
3. And I'm like, never again. And I gave Quantumanium 2 because I was very tired. I'm like, you know what? You were super tired.
mm-hmm.
You know what? Find a different starting point and go. And I just kept going. And I'm like, man, F this. And I'm like, I will read the synopsis. I will look up any teasers and move on because I'm not doing this for damn near 3 hours. I'm not doing it again.
I liked Black Adam but that movie, yeah, it was enjoyable, but yeah, I think that movie was
like, I'll watch.
I find The Rock incredibly attractive, so judge me all you need to because that is cringe, but I felt like he was miscast. Like it didn't work for me. Sorry, Rock.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed because I'm a huge JSA fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I like back in the day when I purged, I've talked about my great comic book purge like a couple years back, especially with the divorce. I was not letting go of my JSAs. By Jeff Johns. Like I love that reboot shortly after JLA rebooted and stuff. Yeah. That is exquisite. I love it. I still go back and read it.
Yep.
I was so excited. Aldous, I can't remember his last name, but the guy they cast as Hawkman, I was excited to see him as Hawkman. I was getting pissed at that because people were like, oh, it's a black guy. I'm like, he's reincarnated constantly.
Right. He was originally Egyptian. Guess what color he wasn't when he was Egyptian?
Yeah, he's
a British white man.
He wasn't a honky in Egypt, I can promise you. And I was so disappointed because it's like, okay, we're gonna have like Atom Smasher and Hawkman, and they're an established team. There's gonna be, I didn't even really give a flying fudge that Cyclone wasn't a white redhead. I really didn't care.
Okay,
I don't really think she was an important enough character, but
as a ginger who, the Little Mermaid debacle taught me that as a ginger, I was supposed to be really offended. They keep taking our representations away from us.
Speak to ginger erasure.
I know. It's so genetic. They're going to do that to us in the next 200 years anyway. Sooner the way things are going.
Don't worry about
it. I liked the Cyclone redesign. I liked that actress. I thought she took Cyclone is my least favorite member of the new JSA. I felt like it was totally not. She always felt like Stargirl light. Like, let's do Stargirl, but with freckles and red hair and too much booty showing for a 15-year-old. Um,
And like
Yeah.
a little ditzy, like
yeah, like I liked, and that was, I think, part of what I really liked about Black Adam. If we had had a Justice Society movie where Black Adam was the villain, I think that movie I would rewatch it. Because
Yeah.
I liked Hawkman. I
Yeah.
liked Dr. Fate. I thought all of that was really good.
Oh, hell
It
yeah.
was just the Black Adam portion of it just didn't work, and it's because The Rock can't act his way into Vin Diesel's arms.
they know they want it. Kiss.
Oh my god! Every time I go see every Fast and the Furious movie. Feel free to judge me, but the entire time, anytime they have a scene together, I'm the person in the audience.
Yes.
We had my friend Holly and I used to go and watch every Friday. We would get off work and we'd go see a movie, and we went and saw like 6 of the Fast and the Furious movies. And we had people, and it's not my fault. You and your 7 kids sat right behind us in an empty theater, Karen. But anyway, they got, oh my god, because we were like, me and Holly started going kiss, 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 kiss. Anyway, sorry for a different time, but
Yeah, you're at a Fast and Furious movie. Let's not act like it's high cinema. Come on now.
oh, that's a great
Yeah.
idea, Alex.
Yeah, don't watch it, CJ.
If you watch it, just fast forward to the JSAs
Yeah.
because
Yeah, just
again,
fast
Dr. Fate, the
Yeah.
Dr. Fate stuff was impressively
Yeah.
good. Like I
always
liked
kind of like-
the Hawkman Dr. Fate friendship was like really like good,
Oh.
and just like that's what I wanted
Yep.
that movie to be, unless
Yeah, make that a movie. Like all that.
less of The Rock being The Rock in a black suit.
The other thing is like, I mean, even like I remember watching like the Halle Berry Catwoman, and I'm a better person and a stronger person
Mhm.
for doing it.
Yep. We all are.
But I mean, like Eternals, like Black Adam, I sat through it and I'm like, maybe there's some gold here. And like this, I mean, this is like sort of like the Star Trek of it all, where it's like I tried to watch Star Trek Prodigy again 3 times, and the first 2 I'm like, I mean, it's for kids, or like older kids. It's not for me. I get it, but I mean, like I was like, there's something here. And then once I got past episode 3, because everyone said just get to the end of episode 3, I'm like, you can't. And like it was like some difficult thing of me just sitting there watching a TV screen. But I was like, I did it. I'm like, oh, this is good. Oh shit. Like I didn't know. And so there is that thing where like sometimes you just have to like bear through it and get through the boring parts. And you're like, there is something here. Who knew?
It's kind of like The Office and Parks and Rec. You got to get through those first 2 seasons.
Any of the Star Treks. Don't watch season 1. They're bad. They're bad.
Well, the Catwoman movie, good point, right? That movie would have been like 30 times. Like I enjoyed it if it hadn't have been called Catwoman, or if in the beginning there had been a scene with Michelle Pfeiffer, as Selena Kyle, to somehow like hand it off or whatever. Not necessarily like you're a Catwoman now.
But it's also like so bad that like
well, perfect Michelle Pfeiffer, by the way.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I used to have like really dodgy parties at my house, and like there'd be like blaring music, lights, just hobos everywhere. And I always had Catwoman play. It was just on the big screen, and people would just be like mesmerized by it. And I was like, it's the perfect
Sharon
background.
Stone is Mr.
Terrible
Glass.
movie. Yeah, I mean,
No,
her
wait,
outfits
she was
were
Mrs.
ridiculous.
Wasn't she literally Mrs. Stone in it because she was turning to stone, or am I?
Yes, the makeup made her a rock person.
Yeah, she literally. They're like, we've got Sharon Stone. Let's make her a rock person. She's yeah, no.
I mean, I remember
Greatest nemesis.
Mr. Glass is Samuel Jackson. Yeah, I think Catwoman was pretty bad, but I think also it works as camp. But I think it would be 20 times better if we had gotten the Michelle Pfeiffer either in the beginning or at the end, or.
Oh yeah, like she went to the premiere and like halfway through she's like, "That's what I thought." And she just left. Like she just walked out.
She's like, "I got to go be in a movie about wolves with Jack Nicholson."
Yeah.
Yeah.
To do.
Yeah.
That movie. I went saw that at the theater. I'm sorry for myself.
What? I love Wolf, man.
No,
I love that movie, man.
Mm-mm.
It's a guilty pleasure. I don't know why. I know it's not the best movie ever. I love it. I love that movie.
Bite me. I will say that there is something.
Has still sexy James Spader in it.
about sitting in a theater and an old white guy asking another old white man to bite him. I was like, okay, like there's something here somewhere.
He was Indian.
Who was?
The guy asking for the gift of the bite. He was an Indian guy.
Was he really Indian or was it Fisher Stevens Indian?
No, I don't think it was the Fisher Stevens of it all.
Okay. Just making sure. Who used to date Michelle Pfeiffer?
Representation matters.
I
We
think
need good
Michelle Pfeiffer
representation.
saw him
Slap some bronzer on Fisher.
Oh God!
Did I ever tell you guys my anger of finding out who Fisher Stevens really was? So my introduction to him was Short Circuit, and I thought he was just this hilarious Indian guy. Bear in mind, I was like 6 or 7. So the next thing I see him in is Short Circuit 2, and then flash forward a couple years later, and there's this movie coming out called Hackers. I'm like, oh my, well, what's this? And it's advertised in all my comic books as well. And Fisher Stevens is in it. Well, I love that guy from Short Circuit. And I see a preview and see some cracker, and they tell me that that's Fisher Stevens. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Okay, so Michelle Pfeiffer did not dump him until 1992.
Well,
and Short Circuit 2 was 1988. So, Michelle, you got some splaining to do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Who is she married to now? Oh, she married the guy who made that terrible Ally McBeal TV show. Doogie Howser, Picket Fences, Chicago Hope, The Practice, Boston Legal, Ally McBeal, Boston Public, Goliath, Big Lies, Little Lies, Big Sky. All that money, and that's his hair. Anyway.
Yeah.
Was that the guy who also did Picket Fences?
I'm sorry?
Was that guy who also did Picket Fences?
Yep. I liked Picket Fences.
I loved Picket Fences. I loved that.
I think
show.
I liked it, but then like stopped watching, or like I didn't get it anymore on TV.
It was good. Where it got to.
Yeah.
Well, it started as like, in my opinion, Twin Peaks light. It was like Twin Peaks, but not that weird.
Yeah, it was a little more palatable for Middle America. Twin Peaks. And
then at some point, it just got bad weird, where it's like, we're going to be really weird for the point of being weird.
Yeah.
It's like Riverdale, where like you were kind of weird and there's too much going on, and then it got real weird. Like it's the stuff that happened each season.
From, what's her face? Machen Amick from Twin Peaks. So, because she's somebody's mom on that.
I didn't watch Riverdale after season 2, but I remember Super Eye Patch Wolf on YouTube. He does these like 3-hour epic, Garfield videos or whatever. And he did Riverdale, and he's like, here's why it's incredible. It was like a 4-hour breakdown of why Riverdale's insane and you should love it. And I'm like, I should watch that.
Yeah, I dropped off after the first season. I can't remember why. I think I just kind of got to a point I stopped watching TV because regular broadcast TV started feeling like a chore. It was kind of like with the Arrowverse. I'm just like sitting down and watching it just to watch it.
Okay. That got so tedious so fast.
Yes.
And I was so into it. I remember because they filmed in Vancouver, and I was like, I think it was like, they filmed quite a lot around like the library in Vancouver. And like, I remember like at one point, like someone was like, oh, Stephen Amell's like down the street filming Arrow. And I was like, I literally tweeted, I'm like, he's down the street and he's coming up here to finger blast me in a second now. Stephen Amell retweets it like later that day. So basically, I got finger blasted by Stephen Amell just on Twitter.
Digitally. Anyway.
I liked that show until the Felicity and Ollie thing, and they started calling it Velocity or whatever online. And I just innocently commented on Twitter one time, like, like Ollie needs to be with Dinah, the real Black Canary, and Felicity needs to go marry Firestorm's dad, because that's what happened. And oh my God, they came for me.
They were like Taylor Swift fans.
You've never been canceled on Twitter. Like you get canceled by people. It was like when the Kylo Ray people came for me, because I'm like, well, aren't they? They're technically brother and sister, so they can kiss in Star Wars, but they can't be together. Like, she's not her. They're not brother and sister. I'm like, in my head canon, they are. They came for me so hard.
Yeah.
But it's okay because most of them don't have any lives outside of that. So, at the end of the day.
I think that is the biggest.
Agreed. Alex.
Yeah, Olicity. I think that's the biggest problem with these franchises and stuff, and the negative people in the YouTube sphere and stuff. It's like you tie up, and we see it too. And like typically we talk about toys and stuff. I think people, I get it, but it doesn't mean it's not sad in a fashion. People tie so much of their identity into these things, and it's like, wait a minute, that's not really good for you. And it's not good for you when it comes to anything. It's not just toys or pop culture. It's politics. It's your faith and religion. Like tying, it can be an aspect of who you are. It can be something you enjoy. But when everything is wrapped up in it, if it's remotely threatened in any way, shape, or form, either it's challenged or it's not quite the way you wanted it or envisioned, oh my God, all hell's going to break loose.
Yeah, it's a personal attack because it's you.
Yeah.
It is you. And it's hard to turn that off. Like,
well, and it's for fiction. I don't get the headcanon side of it. Like, for me, Star Wars has always been as a kid, like, because I'm old, like, that first movie came out, we had the Marvel comics, and there was like Splinter of the Mind's Eye and a couple other things, but like we didn't have all the media. It was like me and the action figures. There were so many stories I made up that like are part of my head. There are times where I forget that didn't actually happen anywhere except when I was playing Star Wars. And,
I mean, like my figures, I remember like the Ewok village became the rebel base. Then Vader came back because I had the figure. And they were like, "What about your redemption arc?" And he's like, "To hell with it, I'm evil again." And I'm like, "Yeah, right." And that was the play pattern because you had the figures and you were gonna like do whatever. It's gonna Vader.
Even comic books, like like I started really reading comic books around Superpowers, where it's like I was going every month to buy every issue and collecting back issues, and especially it was mostly Wonder Woman and Teen Titans, but with Wonder Woman they changed her creative team so many times that they would drop plots. Like you would have bold new direction, and then 3 issues later there's another bold new direction. Like 17 subplots.
They still do that.
That's a whole lot of bold new directions.
Yeah,
so bold.
And so what happened? So I would sit there and I would draw. Like I would copy George Perez and Don Heck, because those were my 2 favorite Wonder Woman artists as a kid. No judgment. People talk shit about Don Heck, but he was pretty good in the beginning. But I would just make up stories, and I sometimes now, like whenever I'm working on various scripts and stuff, I'm like, wait, I don't think that's what actually happened with that character. Let me go look. I'm like, no, that was the comic that I made that filled in the blanks for that. Like that never happened. I should go put that on the wiki, and then it will become
reality
canon then, because it's on the wiki.
Manifest.
That happened with
on the internet.
The Universe. Like
on the internet, it's true.
Yeah, there's one of the not the one that Pixel Dan wrote, but one of the more recent ones. They have a bunch of Princess of Power stuff in it, and they have Catra's origin, finger quote, and it's actually taken from like fan fiction. Like the planet she's from, and it's not even like the Scott Nutlick's fan fiction that he put on the back of the cards. It's like somebody actually did fan fiction about the planet she's from, and that's what they put in the book as being her actual history. So whoever wrote that book for Princess of Power cared so little, he just went to the fandom Wikipedia for Princess of Power. So anyway,
so nothing matters.
Thank
there
you.
You go. See, CJ agrees, Derek. So we've just codified, and your opinion is now canon.
It's canon.
Yep.
It's canon.
Canon.
That's going to be
so
fun
heart.
Next week whenever I'm recording my episode of Toy Geeks with Dan Larson. Like, that's not canon, Dan.
Not canon.
I'm going to interrupt him every time. Not canon. I can't wait. I cannot wait because that's
Just a
like
challenge him.
nerd. That's achieving your nerdom when you get to tell Dan Larson something is not canon.
You need to show up in like this full like Boba Fett's like Victorian gown, and you're like, and what? and what?
I'm gonna hopefully I can find the box that has my Star Puffs and my Leia gown in it so that I can at least show up.
The one you wear to jury
style.
duty?
Huh?
The one you wear at jury duty? Full hair buns.
I tried that after that episode of 30 Rock, and it did not. It was Portland, Oregon, though, so they were just like,
oh yeah,
they're like, whatever, just go sit over there. And then they got me in there, and they're like, well, this is a capital punishment thing, and I'm like, well, did he do it? And they're like, well, that would be up to you to decide. And then they explained it, and I just looked at them. I'm like, oh, he did it. I'm like, death penalty for sure. And they're like, you can go home now.
Bye now.
Over my cold dead gun.
Exactly, Kiko.
I like that joke very much. You don't have to be diplomatic.
I'm never diplomatic.
Say what you want, man.
Bite my tongue. No, as long as you don't personally insult Scott Nutlick and like call him names, like go for it.
Be nice to Jeremy Nardar.
The Spectre, whatever the hell his name is.
Somebody on one of Kenza was doing a live stream a few weeks ago, and somebody referred to Scott Nutlick as Toy Goober, and I had just taken a big sip of Diet Coke, and I laughed so hard that it came out my nose. I'm gonna tell you, there are only a few things that burn coming out of your nose when you like laugh take like that, and this is one of the things that you don't sniff right back up there.
It's like Coke and Coke. Yeah,
exactly.
Two things.
Yeah,
two things that you don't want flying out of your nose.
Not so much.
One's very expensive. Don't waste that.
Kenzo
Hey.
Boy,
yeah, somebody, I think something. Yeah, I forget. Anyway, somebody was in his chat and kept calling him Toy Goober, and I
like that too. I like that.
That one's good. Yeah, so, there you go. Oh my God! How dare you have a live content?
Working?
How dare you build your channel, right?
Rabble.
How dare you?
Which is my turn to say, since we have been talking Marvel tonight, if you haven't checked out Rowdy Ryle's channel, please do. She has an amazing Secret Wars video telling the original 1980s story of Secret Wars using all of her action figures. One of my most favorite things on the internet that I've seen in the last, it's been a little over a month now, I think. So last 3 months.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Kenzo was like, at first I thought it was one of your other accounts, Allison. I had 2 other people ask me if that was me. I can assure you, if I had called somebody Toy Goober, I would want to claim it.
Yeah, that you would have. Your main
like, it was me, bitch. I came up with
me. I said it.
I hope I did. I hope people went and watched it because I recommended it. Because one, I am an influence. No, just kidding. One, because I have friends who watch my channel and kick ass and will go support people making cool stuff. That's my hope. Like,
yeah,
I may never hit 1 million. I may never be like Mr. Beast level, but I hope that I can build a cool enough group of people who follow my stuff, watch my stuff, who go and support people doing cool stuff. Like, that's what my goal is to build a cool little corner here where we can have these conversations without it turning into
screaming incels and chubs.
Yeah. Oh my god, my sperm count died because a woman was in a movie.
The MCU.
I've got microplastics in my balls and I'm mad about it.
I will say I haven't seen anybody, but then again I am actively trying to avoid it. I haven't seen any of the usual wags, as it were, taking a dump on this and making the MCU comments because, I mean, obviously the leader Bucky's going to have a strong leadership role, but I think the center of it is Yelena's Black Widow. So
But she's
far,
beloved.
yeah. And so far, I haven't really seen the nerdrotics of it all say anything about that. The way they've been going after Fantastic Four for some reason, I don't understand the difference. Why they're picking on one over the other? I don't know if it's because there is it.
This is accurate. This is accurate. I think.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. There you go.
They do.
And the funny thing too is like this is was it 1, 2, 3, 4 women to 3 men. They should be losing their mind. Like they should be flipping tables.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with this. Like, why aren't you losing your mind? Because as far like Ghost is in it, Taskmaster's in it, which I have a feeling Taskmaster is going to bite it pretty early on. You don't really see, which okay, fine. You have Yelena, you have Elaine Bennis.
Evil or Elaine.
Laney. You have a lot of gals in this. I'm really surprised they're not just screaming from the mountaintops. God damn it, Kenzo, don't because no, I got me some soft beef with
Jared,
Kenzo. What?
Jared,
Yes.
She-Hulk looks so good, according to
I know. Stop it. Stop. That's what I'm saying. Because okay, I had at one point in time, I had the Dream Master Mumra on pre-order, and then I canceled it. And then along comes little Mr. Kenzo on the Instagrams, posting pictures of the sweet, sweet translucent plastic Mumra. I'm like, all right, I need to buy it. And now he's over there in my office. And then today I see Fantastic Four. Knock it off, Allison. I see the Fantastic Four She-Hulk, and I missed out on the Iron Man Retro Card 1. And I have me a Hasbro hookup, so I could get her cheaper. And now Kenzo's talking, and you're nah. Well, looks like I'm buying a She-Hulk.
So good. So good.
I'm gonna message him after the stream. I'm getting a She-Hulk.
You do.
Fuck.
There we go, Kenzo. I mean, we can't
Peer
make
pressure.
it any more succinct unless I do this again.
I messaged him today too. Like I had some downtime before my pickup, and he's like, "Yeah, she looks great. You just go ahead and message me when the FOMO kicks in." I'm like, Well, the creature bit, and now I'm scratching. So,
Oh, there
you are.
Ross no less. Do it.
I don't know if you know this about me or not, but I like me that She-Hulk.
She looks so good, Derek. Synergize. Oh.
And yeah, that second head does look really rad too. Damn it.
It's very like hold my earrings, pull the hair back. I'm gonna smash some shit.
God bless it. A She-Hulk in this economy?
I will say one of my favorite things when they announced the She-Hulk TV, like way back in the day, I watched some dude melt down about it. Like,
Go on.
because he was losing it and spinning out. He was like, She-Hulk, what kind of, they making up this woke stuff, and like,
Oh my
he
god.
just kept going and going, and people were like,
Wait.
actually,
Was he under the impression that she was a...
he thought that
No.
Disney Marvel had
No.
made up She-Hulk so that
No.
they
Oh
could-
my
for
god.
wokeness.
No, he was not this frightfully dumb, was
He
he?
was.
Ah!
And he got. I watched
Oh.
a bunch of white men. Actually, another white man. It was like a white on white crime, and
The
I
police
wish
had to come,
that I
yeah.
had like saved enough of it because it all got deleted later. I didn't get screenshots. I didn't get because it was just mesmerizing watching the actually weaponized against somebody that wasn't a woman or a person of color or somebody under the umbrella of the LGBTQI.
Yeah,
It wasn't a
other.
Hispanic person. It wasn't, it wasn't somebody who likes Moby. It was not a minority person getting actually by the white people. So
Wow, that's
Yes,
super
exactly.
dumb.
exactly.
People
Her
got
80
so
series was
mad about
incredible.
that. Yeah, people got, well, she's breaking the fourth. That's a Deadpool thing. No, No, I'm
No,
sorry.
no.
No.
Actually,
Yeah.
Well, actually,
In the words of Dad and Henry, no,
and this
no,
is
no, no, no.
and this I will say these are the moments where it's okay to unleash the like extreme nerdom and
Oh
gatekeep,
yeah.
because if people are
yeah.
going to go out there with uninformed opinions
Yeah.
and they,
Sit there in your wrongness.
especially when the world and this is, like, I don't, we all kind of joking like Google it, but it's like literally you can Google it, like
It's really not that hard.
it
It's
takes
really
3 seconds to
I
like,
say this so often when people are like, "What's the name of that actor from this movie?" And you'll see people like struggling, and they're like, you see smoke rising out their ears. I'm like, if only we had a device that could answer this
I do that.
Only we could
I
Google.
do that to Shauna all the time. She'll ask me a question, and usually I
Oh, man.
know, but I'll look right at her and be like, "God, if only you had this magical tippy tappy box that had literally all of the information ever. If only you had that."
I had a
Oh,
coworker at one point who would do shit like that, and they'd be like, "What's the answer? What's the answer?" I'm like, "I'll get that right to you," and then I would email them Google. I would email them the link to just Google.
Yeah.
I'm like, "There you go. It's on there. I bet."
There you go. This
There
is a
was
great
a website 10 years ago where it's like, or I think it was called like didyougoogle.com, where you could actually like type their question in and it would send them a Videomatic and a link to the Google search of their question. And the whole thing was just like, was that so goddamn hard? And I would go through all the steps to do this. I would do the search, download the video, send it to them. And like, I was like, was that so hard?
It was so difficult.
Yep.
All right, let's see. I think we have one more slide, and we do. It's the end. So we are at an hour and 51 minutes.
Yes.
Damn.
I was just having too much fun.
Having way too much fun, but also some of us have to work tomorrow, and we always promise anytime we do one of these on a work night, we always promise Andrew hour and a half and we're out, and then here we are.
This is the closest we've come yet.
It is. I will
It is
say
true.
though, like Andrew wasn't. Yeah, like it's because I set a little timer on the phone and it popped up and it was set for 20 minutes after an hour and 30. It's something like, Andrew, sleep. So
If it's any consolation, I don't plan to work tomorrow. I mean, truly.
well,
Night.
Well, based on, never mind. I don't know if your boss is gonna watch this, but
Probably, hopefully not.
I hope not.
God, I hope
Awkward. So really quick before we do start wrapping up, I do want to say one of my favorite channels is not quite the right word. I buy a lot of toys from Hella Dope Toys because they have great customer service. They ship everything within 1 day. They recently uploaded, like a few hours ago, a video to their YouTube channel where they got screwed over by an eBay seller. And basically ripped Ted Dark Claw off for like $125. I'm going to put the link to the video in the chat. And if you guys go over, watch the video, engage with it, help them out. I mean, it's not going to really help. It takes a lot of views to get $125 through YouTube, but if you guys could just go watch the video, interact with it, sympathize with Ted because they're good people. And if you are looking to support smaller businesses who aren't Amazon and who aren't, some of the bigger places like Walmart or Target or whatever, I highly recommend Hella Dope Toys. Not sponsored. I subscribe to their I'm a member of their channel. I buy from them. That's all I get. I love their service. I like what they're doing. Small company trying to help us toy collectors get the toys we like. And it's, it's sort of a joke if you watch Lawrence's channel, his Moss Man video commercial. But they do. They ship everything out in one business day. It's everything I've bought has been double bubble wrapped and like just safe. I've never gotten a bent or ruined card from them. So that's and he dropped the video earlier and it made me really mad because they're good people that they got screwed over. So please go watch the video, engage with them. If you need to buy some toys, click over to their website, see if they have anything you like. You can do pre-orders. They let you pay a little bit down. It's not like Big Bad Toy Store where it's free until it gets there. You do have to either pay in full or do a deposit. But again, it's a small business. So anything you can do to help them out, muchly appreciated. They're good people. And we like good people to succeed. And we hate people who rip off good people. So feel free to rip off evil people. I have no... Karma is karma. Don't buy a Tesla.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyhow, that's... Just wanted to end there because like that kind of annoyed me a little bit today. That happened because that's shitty. So, anyway, with that said, Andrew, where can the people find you?
You can find me at your local Applebee's, trying to convince the waitress that no, I'm not a lesbian. Otherwise, you can find me here on YouTube or Instagram under Gatie's Toys. This weekend on Saturday morning, I'm going to be doing MIA 80s Ladies on Gems Stingers, which is apparently very apt. So that's coming up real soon. More gem.
Naked synergy.
Naked synergy.
Naked.
Derek, where can the people find you?
Yesterday's podcast, baby, on your podcast app of choice every Monday, new episodes. I do have a YouTube, but right now it's mostly been like shorts promoting what next week's episode will be. But outside of that, we're over on Blue Sky. We're on X, aka Twitter. We're on Facebook. You can follow us, engage, drop a line, leave a review, all those fun things. We just did we had a great time last night doing a Loosey Goosey list episode and Rocketeer. So those are going to be fun. But Monday will be the last episode of April. We're covering Police Academy, the whole shebang, the movies, the toy line, the dreaded TV series, not the cartoon. Oh yeah, you know the cartoon comes up. But yeah, even that 26 episode live action TV series comes up. And we are joined by a real life cop, my buddy Sergeant Richards, who I've been friends with since I was 14. He sat in and tells a true life story of when he graduated Police Academy and everybody and their mom got him Police Academy as a gift. So that's been like his white elephant gift for the last 15 years, and he still has copies. Yeah, every Monday, it's a good time. We are very, if you like pop culture from the 80s and 90s and sometimes 70s, but you like a lot of swearing and drinking and non sequiturs and tangents, then it's the show for you.
I quite enjoy it. I highly recommend. Derek wouldn't be on here if I hated his show. So.
It's true. It's true.
Or would you?
Allison's charitable, but to a point.
I mean, Moby's not on here. Enough said, right? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm a good person. I'm not a nice person. And anyway, that means it's me. Where will I be?
Where will you be?
I will be everywhere. I'm in you. I'm without you.
You're like Discover Card. You're everywhere we want to be.
Yeah, exactly. And you can buy a tractor with me at Sears.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. So tomorrow, Color and Chill, it's Golden Girl versus Dragon Queen in a chariot race.
Yeah.
Saturday, I have a time-lapse coloring shorts collection, which is June of 2024. Back when I was doing daily shorts because I was crazy. Sunday, I'm super excited. Sunday morning at 11 a.m., I will have Janessa J. Champagne here, and we're going to be coloring. She hasn't decided what she's going to color yet, but it'll be Golden Girl, She-Ra, or Barbie. I will be doing one of those three things as well. And I'm super excited. She has a great channel. She's my first drag queen I'm going to have on the channel, so that's exciting. Time to diversify from all these, as Derek is a self-confessed cracker.
Yeah.
So
but not a neckbeard.
Get a little bit in, And
This is as close as I get to Beardy.
and
I'm a little
Andrew
stubborn.
admitted earlier he's not that gay. So I've got to diversify a little bit and bring
For the right price.
bring it in. So
In
there
the
will be
same
that.
stream, I'm sorry. I was gonna say in the same stream has Andrew said I'm not that gay, and I've said I'm not that straight.
Are we meeting in the middle? Is Shauna going to be involved?
You got your chocolate and his peanut butter.
This was bound to happen. Damn it.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. What?
Saturday, I will also be doing. I'll be joining somebody else's stream. Dave and Dre. They're doing a charity stream. I'm going to post the link to that on my community tab once I get the link from them. It's going to be 5:30 a.m. my time. So one, I'm going to be completely unfiltered. God help us all. And but it's also early, so if you can't get up for that, just check it on the replay. They're raising money for charity, and we live in a time where let's support each other.
Yeah.
And on that note, we should go. And I'm trying to remember if I still have our closing for Retro Cavalcade.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Hard out.
You either do or you don't.
I think I accidentally deleted it so I could upload one of the She-Ra outros, and I can't. Okay, just. So Andrew, I apologize for what's about to happen.
Oh no.
And on that note,
No.
I'm Allison Troy. I'll see you in the next one.
Up, swift wind!
Farewell, She-Ra, Princess of Power!
Farewell, He-Man, dear brother!